Here we are again, a new month, and welcome back, Chiron.
For having me. I'm ready to this episode.
I'm excited, and as you can tell, well, not maybe you could tell, I'm talking those watching YouTube, but those on the podcast, we are missing Tom today because he's out of town and didn't make it back in time. So it's a Chiron Teresa episode this month, and it's interesting because this is the spiritual new year, so it's a big episode for sure. So I'm really excited to share some new insights on my side with the energy calendar Tom and I work with, and then obviously with the astrological happenings in the sky from Chiron's side. So let's just dive into it because we got a lot to talk about today.
Yep. Let's just say we survived August.
We survived it all in the past year.
And I think August is a pretty intense month leading up to the next month. And where, big changes, new ideas, new insights can really bring new change into our life, but at the same time can displace us a little bit. Oh my God, this is uncomfortable. Do I really have to do this? And then there's this really just deep integration as, Mercury, retrograding and it's going to start moving forward at the end of August. And then, of course, moving to September, it's now forward, forward and it's moving, but it's definitely moving into a motion where it's going to start meeting the other planets, really communicating what we have learned in August and really bringing it into September to implement those new ideas.
And I'm filled with chills as you say that. And one thing I want to obviously say to all the listeners out there, which I said last month, is make sure you've got a pen and paper next to you because we're going to be giving you some dates throughout the month of September that you might want to jot down. And I'll be the culprit of that because last month I'm like, I got to make sure I get these down. And I did. So that's one thing I just want to share to make sure that everyone gets those down. And so, yeah, first off, we'll just say happy spiritual new year. Yep. So September is a new year. And it's funny when I started working with this calendar and years back, September always felt like a new beginning. I mean, I know we shift into the new seasons, the 21st, right? 20th, 21st, around that time frame. But it always felt new to me. Did it always feel like that to you too, this month, and during the years?
I'll say that, every year, different months feel different things for me. I think because it's probably the nature of like my soul and I have my own seasons and cycles and of course there's seasons and cycles of the world and the earth. So I don't really know if September really feels new to me, but knowing that I always start school during this time feels new to me. There's always some level of newness here. Um, During late August and early September as we, approach the equinox in September, in 21st, 22nd September, which is funny because the northern hemisphere is fall and the southern hemisphere is spring. It's new, right? And
Right.
it's vice versa for, the time in March. So it's a very interesting period of time in September as it definitely does represent some level of closing of energies and starting anew.
Right, totally feel you. So let's talk a little bit first about the energy that we're coming into for the new year. So this past year, the energy was called free flowing. This coming year, the energy is called slipstream.
Sorry, what? Sleep stream?
Slipstream. Do you know what a slipstream is?
No idea.
Okay, well, here's a definition. I have it right here. It's a current of air or water driven back by a revolving propeller or jet engine. The other definition is an assisting force regarded as drawing something along behind something else. So, like the slipstream is really like what's coming behind, it's what's behind the airplanes when they come together, like it's called a slipstream. So it's for myself, it's like I get the visual of like moving into a stream of flow with what I'm doing in my life or what's others I'm working with, or so does that make sense to you now? A slipstream?
From what I am picturing and understanding, this is like, walking the path of least resistance, allowing the stream of the universe, the energy of the rhythm of the universe to help you get to where you want to go rather than fighting the elements of life. I think it's pretty spot on in the sense that the nodal axis of the moon, which is really representation in astrology of our soul's evolution and consciousness and what we are here to learn. And the last past 1 year and a half, we're learning about peace, conflict, right? Where the war started when these nodal axes are in Aries and Libra. There's a lot of collaboration. There's also a lot of separation going on. So there's a very huge polarity going on. The year before that, right, it's Taurus Scorpio, which is really a lot about the economics, the power dynamics of power forces, of authorities, and then bringing the things on the surface to, from the deep into the surface. So we are approaching into Pisces Virgo, which is really about Pisces is about reconnecting to the rhythm of the universe, allowing the divine consciousness, power beyond our comprehension and our capacity to understand, to guide us through so that we can do our work in the world, which is Virgo, right? Really, controlling, planning, setting goals, putting things into function, being inspired by the possibilities of life and getting down and dirty in the mud to do the work so that we bring spirit into matter. So there's a lot of transition going on in the next couple of months because this thing starts to turn astrologically at the end of December, actually.
Interesting. That makes sense. And I just love what you said about being in the flow of the universe, because that's like being behind something that's moving forward. And, I think about like the work that we're doing, and especially the mentor we're working with, and how she's like, and like getting in that slipstream. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And not to
Ooh.
mention that Saturn and Neptune is in the sign of Pisces. So when the nodal axis is hitting this part of the planets, it's usually amplified. Neptune will be amplified, which is again forces beyond our control and learning how to befriend with the elements of life, right? And Saturn is really the embodiment of that authority that really has this knowledge and wisdom to understand the mysteries of life to guide you. So I really do see an emergence of, great spiritual leaders coming to the presence to step up into a position of authority. But at the same time, like Messiah complex, fake gurus, you know, politicians that is not really doing the work kind of thing will eventually be be shined in the spotlight and be exposed, right? So the thing about the universe is that if you're not serving life, then you gotta get out of it.
Oh, yeah, that feels like a big deal, especially with coming up to the US election in a couple months, and what we're
Exactly.
all and that we're all already feeling all the energy, which has been building for some time now. So,
So I have
yeah,
a
so it's
goosebump here
mhm. The
when
what?
you say the sleep, a goosebump, right? Thinking about the sleep streams really aligning ourselves to universal and natural laws.
Yeah, and I think that's a key thing what you just said a few minutes ago too about like, and if you're not in alignment, the universe and spirit will move you out of the way. So there's so many people right now that are really on no matter what side they're on, they're in a anxiety, they're fearful of what's going to happen if this person gets in or that person gets in. But you know what? There's a bigger picture, everybody, right, Chiron? Like, it's okay. Just for myself, it's like just to be peace within, knowing that no matter what, who gets into the position or what happens, I'm okay. And the universe, like we're saying, is going to take care of this personal. It will be either kept in or knocked out or whatever. Like there's, it's all divinely set up, even though sometimes it may not feel that way.
Yeah, I mean the point is if you're anchored in your purpose, in your design of who you are and who you're supposed to be in the world, it doesn't matter what happens on the outside. You do your work anyway. You show up
Right.
anyway. You're here to lead. Everybody is a leader, right?
Hmm.
So, we just have different roles and responsibilities and I think the point is to here is to just go beyond the social construct and to really follow who we feel is authentically connected to our path and then show up powerfully anyway. Yes, there will be a war on beliefs, right? My idea is better than your idea since that Jupiter is in Gemini and Mars is there now, and it's going to be there until the next couple of weeks, into the mid September and beyond. So this thing is this thing will keep was gonna it's gonna be brought up, right? Jupiter is squaring Saturn right now in September, and it's really just activating. You know, there's a difference between facts, opinions, the truths, and what we believe, right? But we just have to still follow our path. And just because someone's truth is different from yours doesn't mean you go kill them or fight them or
Right.
argue with them.
Yeah.
You have to find different perspective. Oh, maybe I'm not seeing something here. Maybe there's blind spots. And I think being in the slipstream is really coming to a place of alignment. If I were to rename that word, I'll just put alignment.
Yeah, that's very good. I like that a lot. So that's obviously the energy from September 1st to August 31st of 2025. And so as you know, we have every month we've got a keyword or like an overall we call it the major concept influencing the month. So this coming month, it's called realization.
Realization.
So what does realization mean to you, Chiron?
There's so many contexts to this, right? Because the word real can mean a lot of things, right? You can realize in the sense that there's a blind spot being revealed, as we just were talking about. That could be a manifestation or something that you have been waiting for, or a manifestation of something that you might not be prepared for, that is like shock events, crises that really open up your eyes. It's like a wake up call. And it's perfect because September, the highlight of September astrologically is definitely the eclipse. And it's the eclipse in Pisces and Virgo, right?
I got chills. I had no idea. See, I don't
It's,
know these
defi-
things. I'm so
it's
excited.
definitely the entry point of what's going to
Mhm.
happen for the next 1.5 years, right?
Right. And so I'll give you the other keywords for the month too, right? So
Okay.
the keywords is inspiration, awareness, discover, epiphany, and conscious.
Hmm.
And those go along with the word of realization. And when I was tuning in this morning, the image I got in my mind was an unfogging of the mirror.
Unfogging of the mirror, right?
So seeing
Beautiful.
clear, unfogging of the mirror. That's the vision I got.
Yeah, I do think that, we live in a time of disillusionment, that we only see what we want to see rather than seeing the truth of the matter. And we do it intentionally. We don't want to see the truth because the truth can be exposing, painful, scary. And especially if we're not prepared or we don't have the tools to work with it, it can be a huge burden that we're not prepared to work on, right? Recently, I just heard a quote and it really surprises me because it came from a cartoon. It's so
A
deep.
cartoon?
Yeah, cartoon. I want to share this.
Okay.
It says, truth is everything, but does it bring kindness, clarity, awareness, and love to the person? If it does not, then you're bringing a burden to that person because it's too much to handle.
Whoa.
Yes, truth is everything, but
Yeah.
is someone prepared for it?
Yeah. So what comes to me too as we're talking about this is that this is an opportunity as we have every single day that we're breathing in these bodies, right? An opportunity to step into how are you finding peace for yourself, where you're at the moment and where everything else is at around you, because it starts with you. And so I think this is a good segue into what's coming this month with astrologically, some of the transits. So let's get into what's whatever you want to share first, because there's a lot going on in September, Chiron.
There's a lot of things going because I think I don't see this. I don't see that August and September are two separate things, right? If I were really to just chuck out the human concepts about boundaries and time and what month is what month, if we just really take it out, it's really just an endless flow stream of time and consciousness and ebb and flow of energies, right? Or you could put it this way: we are in the journey that August is season one and we're going to season two. I mean, depends how you want to see it, but they're connected. My point is, they're connected. So in August, we had redirection, right? Or something about direction.
Realization.
I mean, August.
Oh, August. Oh, destination. Absolutely. Yeah.
Destination, right?
Destination. Yes.
Which is really about, getting somewhere, figuring things out, planning, and really, where is your compass? Where
Mhm.
is your alignment? And then the realization is really coming to a place of like, maybe the things that I set out to do is not what I truly want to go or set out to be, right? And this is why the retrograde period is like reflect, review, and really, is this the thing that you're looking for? Because be careful for what you wish for. There will always be an equal opposite challenge that will test you to see if you are worthy of it. Life works in such a way, and very interestingly so. So, we finish some form of Mercury retrograde at the end of August, and we step into September. Basically, Mercury will start picking up speed again, right? And the drama starts right away, September 1st. And the whole week, the first week of September itself, it's activation after activation after activation. All right. So let me just name the planets that's happening. Then I get into like what they're all about. So bear with me for a little bit. Right. So the first thing that happens is that Pluto goes retrograde. I mean, it's already retrograde, but it goes back to Capricorn. So we are bringing back memories of 2020.
2020?
Right? Yeah, the COVID, that fear mongering moment of like, oh my God, I know what's gonna happen, the end of the world kind of thing. We don't trust our authorities anymore, right? Those memories will start showing up again. On top of that, Mars is gonna square Neptune, right? The same day that we have a new moon in Virgo. And when that happens, the new moon in Virgo is opposing Saturn.
What exactly day is this?
Second and 3rd of September. The new moon is
Second.
on second. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, depends on which part of the earth you are at.
Right.
For me, it's third. For you, it's probably second.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Right? And then the next day, Mars is going to go to Cancer. Which is, again, a very different energy, and we're starting a new cycle, right? And while that is happening, Moon is activating the Venus that is connecting to the south node of the moon, which is really about the opposite energy of Mars, right? Complementary energy. So it's not so easy for me to just decipher all of these planets and what they mean in one go. If I really break it down in chunks to say, okay, this is what Mars means, what Pluto means, then I will miss the picture, right? So I really want to just bring it into a big picture before I start, going to the very specific details of it. When I see activations after activations like this are happening, what I'm really feeling is that people change their mind really quickly, right? So we can't buy to anything or set any conclusion so quickly during this week, the first week of September, right? The theme is realization. So we got to be open. If you're not open, we can't realize things, right? If we are quick to make conclusion, make assumptions, taking things personally, then we won't realize anything. We'll go back to the same patterns, right? And activations are here so that we can really open our hearts and open our minds to new possibilities. I do see this connection of like, if you're confused and lost and you feel like you're wandering and you don't know what's next, but a part of you knows that you seek freedom, you seek expansion, you seek some level of like, something's not quite right in my life. You know what you don't want, but you don't know what you want yet. And this is the feeling that I feel like most of us will be feeling during this time, right? And if you're there, my encouragement is not to try to do anything or be reactive, to try to get things done just to fill into your schedule and fill in the gap, right? I think that is just preemptively not wanting to feel the discomfort of not knowing what to do next. Instead, I'll say make space, take time, right? If you don't know what to do, don't do anything. That's probably sometimes the best choice until you feel a new calling, a new inspiration, or someone invites you to do something, and then you have that openness to take that action. Because the thing is, when Mars goes into Cancer, we can feel a little bit more reserved, feeling like, less wanting to go out there and make things happen. But there's so much going on internally. It's good because we need to figure it out. What is it that I am not honoring? Which part of my authentic part of myself that I'm not honoring? And the calling to have realization here is to seek answers from yourself, not outside of yourself.
So do you want me to share what energy we're in those few days?
Yeah, tell me the first week.
Hit
Tell
it,
me.
Teresa. Okay. The 1st through the 4th is what we call family energy.
Okay.
So feeling what some of the keys on there is feeling of kinship, people united, common goals, and mankind. And so for myself, when family energy comes in, I get I have dreams of the girls that I don't connect with anymore. People show up that feel are like family. There's also family altercations because you have issues with people, right? Because of maybe things that mom and papa did with you when you were younger. So like all these things can stir up, and that's what I've noticed during family energy times.
Yeah. And when you say that, I right away relate to, not just our own family, but family in our workspace,
Mhm.
right? So when we transition into the signs of Virgo and we have Saturn in Pisces opposing the new moon, right? And a couple of days later, by the end of the week, Sunday, September 8th, right? Sun is exactly opposite of Saturn, and there's a lot of doubt in the workplace that we're in. We might not trust our bosses or our managers or our superiors in the way they lead us. We might feel like, maybe it's time to leave. Maybe you feel like you're in a toxic work environment. So I'll say that, every information is good information, but just don't jump to conclusion, right? I think that there's a need for us to explore what's going on, not just on the outside, but also in having conversations with people. Sometimes we make a lot of assumptions within ourselves, and then we make conclusions, right? Sometimes I feel like the expectations, the disagreement, the discomfortness, and all of that is best done by having conversation with people. Get it cleared up. Realizations don't just happen inside of you. It also happens in conversation.
Right.
Sometimes we jump the gun. Oh, poor me, judge me. This person is judging me and whatnot. But sometimes we did it to ourselves. We're self-victimizing.
And I think that's the important part about why, we come together every month to share this energy calendar that Tom and I work with, and then the astrological, realizations and the things that you share, because of the fact that it gives people that just insights onto what energy and like what is really working at a higher realm that, can support you through the month and also give you, yeah, that peace of mind and also what's kind of happening around you. So that's really, well, again, what I want to just emphasize. I know we said that before, but it just makes it's so important to recognize that what we share is just information for you to go, okay, how's this work in my life? Pardon. How does this work in my life at the moment, right?
Yeah. So what energy do we have on Sunday?
Orientation.
Uh-huh.
So getting the facts, knowing where you are, feeling of newness. And when I notice when orientation energy comes in, that's when new things start showing up or things just feel different and new.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And sometimes the new is not comfortable. It can be inconvenient,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
And the Mars in Cancer is very less likely to take action right away. And it's interesting because when Mars go into Cancer, then we have to look at how the moon behaves. The moon changes sign every 2.5 days. And if Mars, which is our willpower, our ability to take action, make choices, defend ourselves, changes every 2.5 days, guess what's happening?
New energies,
People
new
are
energies.
moody. People are moody, right? They're making
Mm.
decisions and choices based on their emotions of the day.
Yeah.
So this is where I feel like, you know, if we want to be in a place of realization, clarity, if that's what we're looking for, then we really need to process our emotions. We can't make, reactive choices, because it really, we will regret those choices, and we know how that feels like, right?
Mhm.
So I think I'll say that, we got to pause before we make choices, before we are rushing to choices. We got to process our emotion, and when we come to a place of clarity, don't wait. You
And I
act
think that's
when you have clarity. When you know when you have clarity, and you know when you're muddled, right? When you're not clear.
right. And I think that's the challenge that people have and have had for the last few years, especially, is that they get so into other people's energies and what's going on with the collective and the fear, anxiety, or whatever it's going to be, on either side. And then they don't recognize, well, so what's my energy?
Yeah. Which voice do I listen? My heart, my head? Which is the heart? Which is the head? And this is why they should come to your masterclass, Teresa.
Hey,
Know your intuition.
that's exactly right. Tune into those inner gifts. I love it.
It's true. I think it's really
Mhm.
helpful, and it's really beautiful how you're offering this to the people to really listen to what's living inside of them and being very attuned to it. Not just save you time, energy, and money, but it's really a game changer.
Yeah, because we all have it, right? All within us.
And really inviting our guides to guide us as well.
Absolutely. So after the 8th, what is the next thing coming up in the month? 'Cause I
The
know there's
next
more.
the next big thing or the next really minor thing, but it's kind of
Whatever you're guided to share, Chiron, because you've got the chart in front of you. So you guide away. Go whatever you feel is the best thing to share.
okay. So after the 8th, the next day, the Monday, Mercury goes back into Virgo, right? Right. And so it's like we got the ideas that we have in August. Okay, how do I put this to work? You get the clarity, the orientation. How do I put this to work? There are a couple of things. Sometimes you got to have that difficult conversation with someone, maybe with your boss, your partner, or whatnot. Sometimes you just have to take action, the beautiful creative thing, and just put out something. There's some level when Mercury is in Virgo, it's like get to work, right? Stop wasting time. And maybe you're sick. Maybe that's something that you need to take care. Go back to your fitness, bring back the habits, go back into your morning routine. Get yourself so clean, so good, so that when you go out to work, you're not affected by the news and the bombardment of information and energies around you. To some level about when Mercury is in Virgo, it's really grounded and it's really like protective, and in the sense that I'm gonna keep myself functional and sane here despite whatever is going on in the world. And when Mars is in Cancer, it's a great time to recover your own rhythm, because there's a different speed, right? Life has a different speed. You have your own speed. When Mars in Cancer, you dictate your own rhythm.
Right. And that I do have a Mars in Cancer in my chart, so we know this
Okay.
is going to be our going to hit my Mars in Cancer, so that should be an interesting time frame for sure.
Yeah. So the next thing I really want to share is the eclipse.
Which I totally forgot we were coming into eclipse season. So booyah! I love eclipse season. You got to go full in, right, Chiron?
We gotta go full in. There's so much to unpack for the eclipse, and I definitely we definitely unpack more in October, because again, beginning of the month of October is an eclipse as well. But September 17 for you guys and September 18 for us in Asia is the eclipse, the lunar eclipse. It's partial,
Okay.
but it's by no means any less intense.
Mhm.
You could say it's the beginning of the eclipse season. The eclipse season lasts for about 6 weeks, sometimes 2 months, and the effects of it can last you 6 months to the next eclipse. You want to really know what happened during this eclipse in this time, maybe look back, 18 to 19 years ago. That
Whoa.
that yeah, there are cycles upon cycles in astrology, and it's interesting because it's in the sign of Virgo, and Pisces, and not just that, it involves Mercury, which is the ruler for Virgo, right? And then Pisces, which Neptune, which is the ruler for Pisces. So this thing of Virgo Pisces thing is intensified. So we gotta unpack what does Pisces and Virgo means, right? On a nutshell, it's about service to life, right? Virgo is about what are your gifts that you can contribute to life, and then you can provide some level of function in the world. How can you make a world a better place, right? And Pisces is the natural elements of life, the things that you can control. And Virgo needs to learn how can I bring all these elements of life to assist me, the slipstream, so that I can contribute my work, not in a way that it just benefits me, but it benefits my community and beyond the human community, and so much that it benefits life. It's this revolution of the circle of life, right? So this energy is basically calling us to go back to realignment, to the truth of the matter that is beyond our beliefs and opinions. Because Virgo's like, does it work or not? So what if you have a good idea? And Pisces is like, right, you can have a great idea, you can have a great knowledge about applying this and that, but is it serving life? Is it in the flow of the universe? Is it connected to universal law? So this is a time where a lot of us can feel really like, oh my God, maybe I've gotten it all wrong. There'll be like a moment where our disillusionment about what we believe can be exposed so deeply that it kind of like traumatizes us a little bit. But please don't worry about that, because behind every pain and suffering that looks like this, it's an initiation. There's grace in it. The universe is kind and loving and compassionate. And just now we spoke about a little bit about truth, right? The universe will always show you things that you're prepared for. I truly believe, and this is my own experiences in life, that it will never bring you challenge that is beyond your comprehension and understanding. It's just that, are you open, willing, and ready to accept what life is bringing you?
And how are you feeling inside, right?
Yeah. I'm curious right now what the calendar says for September 18th or 17th.
So September 17th is action energy.
Yeah, interesting.
Directed and moving, time to be alert, accomplishment with fulfillment. And so action energy is the fastest moving energy. So it doesn't, you can accomplish a lot spiritually as well as materially, physically, whenever action energy is in motion, because it really, you just feel that like, yeah, I can get a lot accomplished today. So it should be interesting to see how this really feels along with that eclipse.
You know what it sounds like to me? It
Mm.
sounds like the universe's action energy onto you, rather
There you
your own
go.
action energy,
Right.
right? So it can be a very reactive time, actually,
Mhm.
and we might be forced to change our plans really quickly. It's like a
Mhm.
wild card, expect the unexpected, and allow yourself to be surprised, and then ride with that energy. Don't be afraid of it. It's like if you have a tsunami coming into you, then you either learn to let it crash onto you and just drown, or you ride
Mhm.
that wave.
Right.
I rather choose to ride that wave. Even if I don't know how to ride that wave, at least I tried.
Right. And hopefully you have a surfboard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a cool surfboard. And so this is interesting because this is obviously right before the equinox.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like
Mhm.
a whole week of, whoa, here comes this, and then there's this.
Yeah, exactly. The equinox, September 22nd, 23rd.
Okay, so about a week away from that. Yeah.
Yeah, on that day, it's very interesting that Venus is squaring Pluto, right?
Mhm. On the 22nd.
On the 22nd,
Mm-hmm.
where we are, invited, use the word invited,
Mm-hmm.
to really confront the dark side of our relationship, things that we have repressed, things that we may not have been honest about. I mean, all this time in September, Venus will be in the sign of Libra until, right, September 23rd. And it's really about forging new relationships and also mediating any unfinished or unresolved conflict or conversation with our current relationships. With the eclipse activated, with Venus strongly in Libra and the South Node in Libra, I think that a lot of our understanding of who is our allies and who are our enemies will be very differentiated in such a radical way, right? I think it's okay to take sides. And the thing is that when we do take sides, we don't take it personally.
Right.
Yes, right? And with the strong theme of Neptune, right? Pisces and the eclipse about Pisces is really about forgiveness, understanding that we are one eventually, that there's a common humanity inside of us. Yes, we can have our differences, but we don't have to, right, hold grudges onto each other based on just because everybody wants to honor who they are.
And so on that day, it's friendship energy. Sense of belonging, feeling appreciation, helping others through actions. And so this truly is one of my favorite energies because I feel a real camaraderie with people, and I'll move through it, like I'll go out into the world, and people will be extremely nice on this day. So on this energy, when this energy is happening, so that's some of the things that I've noticed in the past, and this is like again my favorite energy is friendship.
Yeah, you're nice because the people are nice to you because you're nice.
Well, there's that, Chiron.
I think there's a mirror relationship to this, right?
Right, of course, yes.
I think with what's going on with Libra, it's like this mirror relationship. The energy that you put out is what you receive, and the
Mhm.
things that you judge, you continue to attract it until you stop judging what you attract. So there's always this invitation of like, can we go back to
To
love?
keep the
And this is what the
enthusiasm going,
essence of the
please
eclipse is like.
like,
Can you come back to
subscribe,
me?
or comment
The North
below.
Node
We
is going
would
to go
love to
into
hear from
Pisces,
you.
right?
Right.
For the next 1.5 years. It's like, can you remember about the sea? Can you protect those that it's unspoken, the trees, the animals? Can you really understand what they need and really offer your love to them? Can we see beyond our differences that there's this common humanity, right? At the same time, can we also honor the differences and the diversity? I do believe that conditional love has to be included in unconditional love. They're not two separate things,
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I
right?
totally agree. Yeah, for sure.
So we need to listen to the conditions. We need to come back to the practicality of life. That there is transaction in life.
Mhm.
We can't just bypass it, right? And that's where the balancing act is here, right? We can't just bypass those really ideal common humanity, one love kind of thing. Because if we do, then it's just a beautiful philosophy rather than the true realization.
Yeah, I love that. And also, I mean, like so many people talk about, of course, the light and, and feeling so great and all that, but we're here to be challenged in life because that's how we grow.
Yeah,
I mean, like if it was all peaceful, I mean, who doesn't want peace, right? But I mean, but you also have to have those things that come up against you where you're like, okay, now how do I work with this and on the level I'm at now and move past it? So that's how I see life is just, yeah, I mean, that's the exploration of why we're here and to learn and grow, but really to have those opportunities to go, damn, 15 years ago, I would have freaked out. I would have been cussing. I would have been screaming. But now I'm like, yeah, okay, how do I work with this differently? I'm in a different place. So now with peace, I can move through that. So I've seen myself be able to transform and really come into a different energetic place that I can move through life now differently. And so that's to me the exciting part about being here is just the realization. Oh, that's the key word this month. The realization that we all have these opportunities and are given these moments in time, like we're talking about right now, where you can either, you can step up and expand into the next version of yourself, or you can get behind something and do the slipstream into the positive or the not so positive, right, Chiron?
yeah, exactly that. Yeah. I do see that, during this time when we are lost and confused ourselves, that we need to at least be clear who we follow, who we listen to, who are we getting advices from, which influencers on social media are we following. We got to be careful what information we're downloading into our system. Because in the end of the day, it's just a form of perspective, and we got to have our own stance to things. But more than anything else, if we don't know how to figure things out by ourselves, then we need to reach out to community, to people that we can trust, so that, and also, consider mentorship and guidance and coaching and therapy if that is needed for you, and not just wait, because it's definitely a time for healing, so that we can really wax in and wax out the mirror that you talk about and really
Hmm.
honor that realization that's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's these are pretty much the main things we're going to talk about for this month, right?
Yeah, there's one last one,
Okay.
September
Hit us with the
30th,
last one.
the last day,
Best for
where the
last.
Sun Mercury conjunction in Libra that is touching the eclipse. I do see by the end of September and early of October and into the next 6 weeks after that, there will be a lot of new collaboration, partnership, right? And meeting new people, a new connection. Jupiter is still in Gemini, where we can feel like there's a diversity of culture being mixed, the exchange of knowledge and wisdom. So it's definitely a beautiful time for being creative in that sense and collaborating, but also not forgetting to honor the truth inside of you, honoring the authenticity, because that is what is desired to be activated right now, the freedom to be who you are in front of anybody, not just certain
Right.
people.
Right. Beautiful. So, so one thing I want to share about, the months and even the weeks that you have a wonderful on YouTube, you share every single Monday, my time Monday, it's your time, I guess, late. Are you, whenever you put it
It's
out, but
Monday
I always
morning
get it
for me.
Monday.
It's Sunday night for you.
Yeah, Sunday night. Okay. So you
Yeah.
have a wonderful sharing of each week. So if you guys out there listening or watching want to tune in each week, Chiron has a wonderful sharing. And also if you're going, how does all this really work with my life and who I am? You might even consider having a session done with Chiron where he'll go over your specific chart and share how different transits and different time frames of each month or the month we're in or whatever is works with you at this moment. So that's one thing. I'll definitely have his information down in the show notes so you can book one with him, because it's a great way to just explore your chart, because all of our charts are completely different.
Yeah, anybody coming to me for a reading and for clarity, I think it's so powerful when someone can get some level of confirmation about something that they told no one about, and when I actually, just do what I do, which is kind of funny. When I share and then people actually get that confirmation, I think there's some level of like confidence and courage that comes with it. And I think in the end of the day, I just want to say that everybody knows what to do in their life, right? You are the sole authority of who you are and how you're supposed to lead your life. I'll say there's no wrong or right choices, and we can spend hours and hours thinking about that. So if there's one thing that I really just want to share, and just one big takeaway for anybody considering reading or considering how to move through life, is that just trust your heart. There's no wrong or right choices, but choices that either move you forward or keep you stuck. In astrology reading, I'll show you how you keep yourself stuck so that you can truly move forward in your life.
I love it. And I love that you brought in the heart, because you do Heart Quest, which is right along with it, right?
That is my
Like,
mentorship of like really diving in deep
yeah,
into listening to your heart and leading from your heart.
absolutely, which is what you do so beautifully, Chiron. So this has been a wonderful sharing and just amazing to come together again. And it's interesting because Tom's not here, and so like with astrology, obviously I studied some over the years, and so I have a bigger picture. And I understand more than he does, but he gets the feeling of it. So that's the thing I really want to emphasize too. Like if this is all just information, you're like, I don't understand all the Libra and the, Mercury and la la la. But it's the feeling behind, especially what Chiron, myself, and Tom, when we come together, share each month to give you just a feeling and an essence of what the month ahead is going to feel like for you. And as you move through it, you might just take notice, oh yeah, that one time when, Chiron mentioned on the 17th, this happened. And it's just an awareness. So it's just another tool, but really that feeling inside is what I really want to emphasize for all of you listeners out there.
Yeah. And not just awareness, I'll say awareness is everything. And it's a game changer. Even though it can be very simple, but it's definitely a life changing or a life saving thing to be aware of what's going on and what energy is around you, because you can really go into that slipstream and really walk the path of this resistance and manifest your greatest dreams.
Absolutely. So thanks again, Chiron, for coming on and
Thank
sharing
you.
another amazing episode. And thanks to all the people out there listening and watching on our TNT Spiritworks YouTube channel. And we appreciate each and every one of you taking the moments and the time to come together with us and share each month. And until next month, just remember that life is too short to not be enthusiastic about your unique journey. To keep the enthusiasm going, please like, subscribe, or comment below. We would love to hear from you.